Let me tell you, this movie definitely has some of the best aspects of an early 2000s comic book film, but it also has some of the worst. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new movie review. Today I'm going to be discussing Bloodshot, which stars the likes of Vin Diesel, Eliza Gonzalez, and Guy Pearce. It's about Ray Garrison, an elite soldier who was killed in battle, but is now brought back to life through advanced technology, giving him the abilities of super healing and super strength. With these new abilities, he goes after the man who killed his wife, or at least he thinks killed his wife, because the people behind the scenes are not to be trusted. But can even Ray Garrison trust himself? This is a movie I've been actually looking forward to because I think the character of Bloodshot is quite a cool thing from the comics, and taking this concept and putting it into a movie format could have made for a great thing. Now, while I don't think this is a great movie, I think there are good elements to it. It kind of tempered myself to be, this is a fine movie that I'll probably never watch again. Of course, if you guys are new here though and you guys enjoy early movie reviews like this on a daily basis, make sure to comment down below and let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Are you guys excited for this movie? Are you not? Let's discuss it down there. And of course, if you love that geeky content, hit that like and subscribe button as hard as you can. Like I mentioned, I thought this movie is just fine, and it's one that's quite forgettable, but there are still good elements to it. I do really want to address those before I get into my cons, and one of the biggest things that I can possibly say about this movie was the likable characters in here. Now, I don't think it's because of the script, because the script, spoilers, is one of my issues with the movie, but I really like the way that everyone was able to portray themselves. Vin Diesel plays Vin Diesel, but he's able to really bar down into Ray Garrison, and you kind of just believe that character of him playing this slain soldier and the traumatizing things that he's going through. Also, Eliza Gonzalez, I think, does a really good job in this movie, being charismatic, charming, but also at the same time caring, and that's one of the things that she really portrays throughout this whole movie, and Guy Pearce just eats every ounce of dialogue every single time he's reading off a line. He does that in every single one of the movies, good or bad. He's just such a good actor at being able to do that and really emphasize everything that's going on, and you believe everything that's happening. In fact, when you're looking at this movie, while I had issues a lot with the script and the dialogue and everything in that sense, these actors are doing a lot more work with it than even the script deserves. Speaking of this world, the mythology and world building that they do in Bloodshot is actually quite unique and was quite dynamic to what I really liked. It even goes to the superhuman abilities that Vin Diesel's character Ray Garrison gets, because as you see in the trailers, he gets shot and like all these pieces of his face come off and then get reanimated and fixed. Really cool dynamics in the whole thing, and every single time that happened, the CGI just worked its magic and really made it believable in those scenarios. Actually made for some quite intense sequences because you don't know too much about the abilities, just as these people don't know much about it, and it's kind of all testing the field of how much pain can he actually take. It made for a really cool character in that light, and I really like the way that they were able to animate all that sorts of stuff inside the dynamics of the film. It even gets me to the action sequences, which is really where my cons start to begin, because some of them are really good and some of them are not the best. And that's kind of where I get to it. Some of the action sequences is crystal clear. You can see what's going on. And then other ones, it's like, okay, this is a choppy mess. Who's hitting who? Where is he at? What's he doing? It became so barred down by that editing job within the action sequences that it was very tough for me to tell you what was going on. And at that point, when it got to another action sequence, it was the same thing. Some elements were good. Some elements were bad. And it just became so repetitive in those natures that at times it actually made me quite bored in the movie. And then when you go to the story, while I like the characters, I'd seen the whole story in the trailers, so I could tell you exactly what was going to happen. And that's how it played out. Exactly how I thought it was going to be. And as it played out more and more, I just got more bored and bored, because I could tell you what was probably going to happen in the next exact scene and the next exact scene here, and as it just went on and on and on. Which again, maybe that's also a marketing job, but at the same time, the script should be able to keep me on my toes even if I know what's going to be happening. I've seen movies where the trailer showed everything, but I was still able to get into the mood of the film and really still be taken for turns and twists. And there are some movies that you've seen thousands of times that have twists and turns, but they still get you every single time you're watching it. And this is one of those movies that doesn't. It plays off it pretty well, but at the same time, it doesn't. And it just in general becomes a giant mixed bag that made me pretty disappointed. I do want to give a shout out to the score, because while the score at times didn't feel like it fit in certain sequences, again, feels like a nice little early 2000s origin comic book story, which I liked at times. And it's not that I hated this movie, I just found it meh. And it could have been so much better, especially since how much comic book films have evolved over the last 20 years, guys. Come on now. Before I give you guys my final thoughts on Bloodshot, make sure to comment down below. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Are you guys excited for this movie? Are you not? Let's discuss it down there in the comments section. Make sure, again, to hit that like and subscribe button as well. If you enjoy early movie reviews or geeky content, be plenty like this, head on over to Sandwich on Films on how to see films early. And of course, just a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. Bloodshot is a middle-of-the-road comic book movie. It doesn't do anything new for the genre, and it doesn't elevate it to any new levels. It kind of just another one that's going to fizzle out and people are going to forget about. Vin Diesel's good in the role. Liza Gonzalez is good in the role. Guy Pearce is great in the role. There's just so much potential in here that just wasn't met. And I don't know if it was the directing, the writing, I don't know where it faltered at, but a lot of it kind of just comes full circle. These actors are trying, but with really okay-ish action sequences. Some are really good again, but some are not. And a lot of it comes down to the editing and the shots that they get. It's like, I've seen so many action films now that it's just still choppy, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, there's so many great examples. Shoot it like that! Don't be like this! And it's sad to see Bloodshot kind of falter into that mix and become a very predictable, boring, and dull movie that could have been really cool. The world is really nice, and I like the mythology all building around it. And I really like the CGI and the way that they had Ray Garrison's powers. I think this could have been a really cool comic book movie, but in general, it just became a meh one. So with all that said, I'm going to give Bloodshot a C-. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this movie. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let's discuss it down below, guys. Thank you guys again so much for watching this. And of course, until next time, stay classy.